Welcome back to the channel. You know what? Welcome back to the channel. You know what time it is. It's story time. So listen, I'm not going to hold anything back today in this video. Today in this video, we're going to get into some deep, deep conversations that is going to help you and your children. But before I get into the conversation, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share button, and leave a comment. I want to know what I am contributing to this channel, that you are benefiting from it. And in order for me to know that, you need to leave a comment. Leave a comment on topics you would like for me to go over, and I will try and add them into my YouTube channel if I feel the need is going to be good for my audience. So as you know, on this channel, we talk about self-love, we talk about lifestyle, and we talk about our money. So that's what my channel is about. And I keep everything very, very truthful with you guys based on experience. So let's jump right into this topic today. Guys, ready? So in my last few videos, I talked about self-care, loving on yourself, and putting yourself first over anything else. So it should be God, yourself, your parents, your children, and then maybe your spouse. Whatever order you want to put into. Now, you putting yourself, if you have children, it is very vital that you put yourself first amongst anything else besides God and your children and your spouse. And the reason why is I am noticing that teenagers specifically are suffering from low self-esteem. They're insecure about themselves. I'm not sure why children are feeling this way. I'm noticing a lot more children need to be in counseling. They have anxiety issues. They are afraid to speak up for themselves. They're tolerating being bullied. And the sad thing about it is that the schools, the public school systems, which I think is all school systems, is allowing for children to be bullied. Okay? Now you would think when you send your children to school, your children is going to be well taken care of by the staff. And if it is any bullying, fighting, that the school is going to make sure that your children are protected. But unfortunately, in 2025, our children are not protected when they go to school. So, if you are a parent and you have not watched any of my other videos about self-love, self-care, I need you to pause this video, go watch my other video. I will actually attach it to this video and then come back to this one, because this is going to be a new topic that's going to involve your children. All right. So as you are getting yourself together mentally, physically, I need you to start doing that effective today. And here's the reason why. Your children can, especially if you have older teenage children, can sense when something is not right with you. Children can sense when you have low self-esteem. They sense that you don't love yourself. And they also look at how you are being treated and how you treat other people. If you are showing signs of weakness and you are allowing people to come in and out of your life and your children's life, and you're not setting boundaries, those habits are going to be passed down to your children. Yes, it is very true. It is going to be passed down to your children, because you want to know how I know this. It happened to me. Okay. I grew up in a household with a parent that did not, when I say parent, I'm talking about my mother. My mother did not have boundaries. She allowed people to mistreat her, tell her how to run her household, tell her how to run her children, even make decisions on places she wanted to move to, make it educational changes, career changes. All of these things, my mom, unfortunately, allowed people to dictate her lifestyle. And the result of that was passed down to me. I noticed as I started getting older, I kind of let people be like, I was like a doormat in a sense. I will listen to what people said. I will sometimes listen and take action to what these people said. And I noticed that I wound up getting myself into a bad situation. Okay. And another thing is that if you don't plan your life that you want for yourself, someone is going to have a plan for you. And it's not going to be intentionally. It's going to happen. I'll give you another example. My daughter is a cheerleader. Okay. And we were at one of her cheerleader competitions, and there was another parent there. And I said to the parent, I said, which one is your child? Excuse me, I need something to drink. I said to the other parent, which one is your child? And she pointed out, that's my daughter right there. I said, oh, okay, no problem. So as we were actually in the room where the cheerleaders was practicing, they was getting ready for the competition. So as we were leaving out of the gymnasium to go and sit in the auditorium to watch the competition, I said to the parent, I said, my daughter was explaining to me that some of these girls on this team have attitude problems. And the parent, she replied back to me, and her rebuttal was, well, eventually all of them going to have attitudes. So for me, I always try to think before I speak. So I thought about it for a second, and I said, well, you're absolutely right. However, it doesn't have to be that way. We, children, adults, teenagers, can talk out their differences instead of having a disgruntled feeling about someone or being mad with someone. That's not how we should be handling things. But because we live in America where we have this pop culture, or this, flexing culture, or just not taking accountability culture, these conversations happen. So I asked my daughter after the competition was over, I said, I was talking to your, what do you want to call it? Your teammate parent about, girls having attitudes with each other and not being respectful, not being a team player, right? And my daughter said to me, oh, well, her daughter gives me an attitude. And I said, oh, she does. So as we were leaving, I said a very gentle, very calm. I wasn't loud. I wasn't mean. I didn't use any profanity. I said, well, I was talking to my daughter, and my daughter was standing right next to me, and I said, my daughter told me that your daughter gives her attitudes, right? Just so she could be a parent, maybe try to talk to her daughter to see what's going on. Maybe my daughter did something to her daughter she didn't like. We're not with our kids when they're at school. We don't know what they could be doing, right? We only go by what our children are telling us. And you knowing how your child is. So you know what the parent said to me? She said she probably was. Go ask her. Now here another parent. We over the age of 30. We're not young parents, right? You tell me, I don't know, go ask her. How do you think your children start developing these nonchalant attitudes, disrespectful to other people? Because they're watching what you are doing. So I said to myself, now I see why your daughter acts. I'm saying this in my mind. Now I see why your daughter acts the way she acts because of you. You are the example. You are setting the tone for how your daughter walk out into this world, this life. And it's not a good one. Instead of her telling me, I don't know, shrugging her shoulders, I don't know, go ask her, she should have said, well, we can go and walk together to ask my daughter what happened with the situation so we can make amends with each other. But instead, she wanted to keep the confrontation going. Now, chances are that young woman, young lady, is going to go out into the world, and she might get herself into some situations because she don't know how to have a conversation with someone instead of giving someone attitude. And do you know why teenagers have attitudes? Not all of them. It's because of what's going on in the household. Clearly, her mom has low self-esteem. Because people that have low self-esteem, they stay quiet. They're not going to express how they feel. They're going to be very quiet. Either quiet or they're not going to take accountability because they have low self-esteem. They don't know how to express themselves. And I hope this is making sense. I'll give you guys another story that happened to my daughter. Now, this situation, I actually formed a relationship with this person. My daughter had a best friend. I mean, best friend. They would talk on the phone day and night, night and day. Before school, they were on the phone. After school, they were on the phone. On the weekends, they were hanging out with each other. This young lady got into a relationship with a boy that she was friends with for years, and then they decided to start dating. Okay? One day, it was a group of friends. My daughter, her boyfriends, a group of friends, they all went to Six Flags, right? And I was responsible for picking the children up from Six Flags. So I picked the children up. My daughter, her best friend, and the best friend boyfriend was in my car. Now, you know how teenagers are these days. They're very rowdy. They're very hyper. So as I'm leaving out the parking lot, leaving out of Six Flags, there were some boys looking in my car. So the young man, which is my daughter's best friend boyfriend, his rebuttal was, you want to fight? You want to fight? So I said to him, I said, relax. Nobody's not fighting. I got too much to lose to be fighting. And I have somebody else's children in the car with me. Relax. So weeks go on. My daughter started having problems with her best friend. Her best friend started to change. Her best friend started to be with the boy more often, be on the phone with the boy. Her best friend did a 360 because of this boy. Okay? Now, how this young woman's being raised in the household makes sense of why she's acting this way. The mother was in a long relationship. Like I said, I had built a relationship with the family, so I kind of know the family. The mother was in a long-term relationship, which she expressed to me that she was departed from that relationship. Okay. She had 2 children. She had my daughter friend, and then she had a younger child. Okay. My daughter is a teenager. This man that she was in a relationship with was her second child father, not the first child father, which is my daughter's friend. So she had a conversation with me a while ago, and she was departing from that relationship. I didn't say much about it because it's not my business what people do in their relationships. One thing about me, I don't get involved with people's relationships or what they do with their children. That's none of my business. Okay. So I said, okay. So a couple months, weeks later, Alyssa was telling me that Amani wants to start coming to our house. So I said, well, yeah, Amani could come to our house anytime, she wants to. Right? She said the reason why she wants to start coming to our house, is because the mother moved in someone else into the home after she ended this other relationship with this other person. Oh, I said, okay. Now, me being a parent, I personally do not allow anyone around my child who I do not trust, like, and feel that if something happens to me, that they have the best interest for my child. All right. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my daughter and her long-term best friend got into a altercation, and my daughter was hurt from it because her friend completely turned her back on her because of this boy. And the reason why the friend started changing is because the friend has low self-esteem. She has low self-esteem. She's not getting the attention that she needs from the household because the attention that she needs is going to someone else, if this makes sense. You have to learn to be comfortable with being by yourself. Going from relationship is not going to help you get better. It's going to make things worse. And then now you're in a situation where your daughter is idolizing relationships because she's suffering from low self-esteem. So she's running to someone else for love, where she really should be running to you for love. So this is why I said you have to get yourself in order first before you decide to love someone else. Clearly, her mother is seeking love in all the wrong places, because leaving a long-term relationship and going right into another relationship, not even after a month, is not good. And it's going to be passed down to her daughter now, because now her daughter is going to think she needs to have a boy around to make her feel good, and make this boy the center of her attention. That's not good. That's a sign of low self-esteem. You have to be okay with being by yourself. And not everyone have the best intentions. So I hope this video helped someone today. Get into some counseling. If you are not married right now, you are single, you know that you have low self-esteem, you don't love yourself, you're a doormat, get yourself into some counseling. Start dating yourself, loving yourself first. Until next time, bye.